Hi, I'm Anthony from City Backyard Veggies. This video is a recap of what I've been doing in my veggie patch over the past week and what I'm planning to do in the garden this week. The aim of this video is to give you a real-time update of where I'm at in my patch and what my plans are so that you can also follow along in your garden. Today's video was filmed on the 17th of November. Over in my main patch, I had my first plant of tomatoes and I harvested my first fruit this week. I did a harvest yesterday on Saturday and I harvested 10 pieces of fruit which were well timed. I was looking really forward to starting to eat some tomatoes from my garden. And looking at them today, I started to have more ripe fruit coming through. You can just see all the ripe fruit just starting to show. I find with this variety, once one tomato starts ripening, you generally have the rest of the tomatoes following through. This harvest is going to be going on for the next 4 weeks. I'll be harvesting a lot of this fruit off it. I will harvest these on the greener side. I won't let them fully colour on the plants. I prefer to take them off so they don't get eaten by rats or insects. And it's a very similar story over at my second plant of tomatoes. They looked just starting to blush yesterday, but they're looking perfect now for harvesting. And if I bring you closer, these are the two heads that I'll be looking at harvesting today. There you go, beautiful, absolutely perfect looking tomatoes. These are much larger than the Thunder and I'm really happy with how they're produced. I will also harvest this one too, just to take it off the plant, and I'll take that inside and I will store that on the bench for it to ripen up a little bit more. First harvest of my second plantings. I'm really happy with how they look amazing. This residue, dust residue, is just a little bit of that copper spray and also the wettable sulfur that I sprayed probably about a week ago, and that will wash right off, so that's perfectly. Besides that, the fruit looks amazing. No sign of fruit fly yet, so feeling quite lucky that I might be able to get most of this crop off before they turn up. Continuing on with first harvest on my first plant of cucumbers, they have been struggling. I have been keeping you up to date with the struggles I've been having, especially with regards to spider mites and so forth. But what I've decided to do is just let them be and see how much I can get out of them before I'll have to pull them out and replant. If I bring you in closer, you can see there are just a few cucumbers that are ready to harvest, and I actually seen just one here further up where I'm going to be able to harvest. It's okay, I mean, I'm happy to have it, but as you can see, the spider mite infestation is getting worse. I did treat with a little bit of pyrene from last week, but these are starting to feel like a lost cause, so I'm just going to let them run their course, give them about 2 weeks, and I'll just probably clear this bed and try to plant a new round of cucumbers here. It's a little bit of a different story at my second planting of cucumbers. This week I have come through and trellised the cucumbers, and you can just see I've just installed my string trellis on both rows, and I've started to twine the plants around the string, as you can just see right there. They're looking really good. Their color, I would like them to look a bit more green, and I will add a bit more liquid fertilizer to them to get them going. But I'm really happy that they're starting to get off the floor. There was a little bit of outbreak of disease, as you can just see right there, which is not too bad, but I can deal with that. Just been struggling a little bit with the heat. There are flowers just about to start forming onto these, and I should be opening in soon. But I will get some liquid fertilizer on them and add a little bit of chicken manure pellets on these cucumbers as well. With the beans, this time last week, the borlotti beans were just germinating, and now they're looking quite great. Look, I think I've got like 80%, 90% germination, which I'm quite happy with. Really nice stands. The second plantings, I came in, interplanted the gaps with new seedlings in the Italian Romano bush beans, and they've germinated. Most of them have germinated. They're looking good, but I am struggling with my jade bush beans. I'm worried that the seeds are quite old. These were planted a week ago now. Gonna give them a few more days, but I feel that the seeds may have been too far gone. I actually tried to raise some seedlings in punnets, in 100 soil punnet. Only got 10 germinating, so I'm expecting that the seeds are quite old, which is the same because I've still got close to a kilo of seeds, and they're a great variety. It's actually quite hard to get more seeds. But if these do fail, I'm looking at planting Jackson, and I'll give Jackson a go and see if they work in this spot. With my zucchini, did a bit of work on them this week. I actually thinned out each of the planting positions down to one plant. I find that zucchini, if you plant them too close together, they outcompete each other and you won't really get a crop. So I've pulled out all the weaker ones, and now I've got 6 positions. They're just trying to get used to the fact that they've got the space to grow. I've added some chicken manure pellets just to give them an initial boost of nitrogen, and hopefully that really gets them going. I'll need to treat with some wettable sulfur. I'm seeing slight evidence of a bit of mold, powdery mildew showing up, but I'll give them a little bit of a treatment and that should sort them out. I did a similar treatment to my butternut pumpkin patch. I went through yesterday and I thinned down to 2 plants per position. I planted 4 plants per position, and again just removed down to the strongest seedling, and they're looking a lot better now. They do need fertilizer, and I will be looking at adding fertilizer over the next 2 days or so. But at this stage they're looking okay for that stage that they're in at the moment. They're starting to slowly start vining, which is great, and I'm going to have this whole corner is eventually going to be covered with pumpkins in about, I reckon, 3 weeks time. Over at my south facing garden bed, I've continued planting more borlotti beans in the bed where I planted my Madagascar beans. End up getting 5 rows in this patch, and the idea here is that these will be ready in time for the Madagascar beans to take over a new structure that I'm going to be building in this spot. At this stage they haven't germinated yet, but these were planted on Wednesday, about 4 days ago, so it's still a bit of early days for them, but I will, this time next week they would have all germinated, which is going to be pretty good. At my second corn planting, they were big enough this week to get their first application of fertilizer. Added sulfate of ammonia to them. They really need that big boost of nitrogen at this age, and I've done that and I've watered it in. They are looking really good at the moment, and I'm expecting that next week I will be looking at hilling them. And over back in my main patch, I planted out my 3rd planting of corn this week. It's actually today, and I end up getting 4 rows in of 36 plants in total, planted at 60 centimeter spacings with the plants 30 centimeters apart. This variety is max, and I had to plant out 2 100 soil trays to get enough seedlings to germinate so that I could fill out this bed. The seeds were quite, even though they were brought fresh, or apparently fresh, they weren't germinating as well. Things that I'm going to be doing this week, I probably spoke about this last week, but these do need staking, and actually I'm going to be harvesting some eggplant. I should have harvested them today, but I'm looking at harvesting them during the week, and you know, this is my first one. Absolutely beautiful. It's just doing a lot more size, and I like to pick my, there's another one here actually, there you go. Oh, you can see that. And I generally like to pick my eggplants smaller size and larger size. They do tend to get a little bit piffy on the inside and seedy. Mum doesn't like it too much, but I'm looking again. This here, I have given them a spray, and I do need another spray, but this here is the telltale spider mites. I've just got a real bad problem with spider mites in my garden. Now, I did spray them with wettable sulfur last week, and you can tell it's spider mites. It's like a papery film. It's like those little dots around. The plants are still doing okay, but once we pass, it's been quite hot today. Once the hot weather passes, which is about Tuesday, should come back down to about 22, 23 degrees. I'm going to give these another spray of wettable sulfur just to really control those spider mites. And in the back half of the garden, going to start turning over this soil near the mango, planting more beans. I may even look at planting this season's watermelon in this back patch here. Really do enjoy growing some watermelon in my garden, and hopefully this will be a good spot for it that my kids can look after. On my carrot patch front, it's starting to become a mess of leaves, and I'm actually thinking about potentially calling it quits and harvesting a lot. This side was planted 4 weeks before that side, and if I come through and see if I can harvest one, I'll just show you what size they're looking at the moment. I mean, some of them are okay. I probably could give them another week or so, but it's just becoming an absolute mess. So I might try to see one more. Yeah, there's different sizes. They're okay. Look, they're good enough for kids' lunches, sandwiches, but I might see if I just do them a little bit longer, just to see if they will, you know, put on any better size. There have been the occasional big ones, but yeah, carrots, I'm not the best at growing root vegetables. It's not my strong point. I hope you enjoyed that recap. I plan to do these weekly, and I hope that keeps you up to date with where my garden's at. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. Send me a message either on the socials, Instagram or TikTok, or leave me a comment on this video.